Lovely. Good afternoon, Amy.
Good
It's lovely
afternoon,
to
Joanne.
have you. Thanks very much for coming along and having this interview with me here today. I'd like to very much welcome Amy Winter, who is the owner of Little Kneaders. Little Kneaders deals with all things sensory. Absolutely amazing lady, and we're going to have a little chat with her. She's doing one of our workshops here in the conference on Friday, next Friday, the 22nd of March, and the conference is all about inclusive practice. So, Amy, tell me about Amy Winter.
So, I started Little Needers to support neurodiverse children. I started it making a product that was safe for them to use. And it has grown and grown to sensory training, which I realized was not a big importance, I guess, within the government framework of supporting neurodiverse children in schools, which is one of the most important ways of supporting them. So I teach teachers, educators, childcare workers, anybody who works with neurodiverse children, how to support them on a sensory level through play to meet their emotional needs, because it's very
Amazing.
important.
Amazing. And what led you to this job in the first place?
My eldest is autistic herself, and it was seeing a lack of support for her in her school, and it made me realize that there is a big need for educators to receive training in neurodiversity and sensory play because it's not used enough. It's a massive tool that could be used widely throughout mainstream schools, special schools, and childcare facilities. Anybody working with children should receive training in how to support these children. And this training includes where they should even sit in the classroom so that they're receiving sensory input throughout the day, and that the sensory avoiders we limit their sensory input from where they're seated within the classroom.
Yeah, and it's actually hugely important, and it's something that a lot of teachers, I think the majority of teachers, unless they specialize in special educational needs training and teaching, they don't actually have any training in the sensory system at all,
Mm.
really, do they? No.
No, and the SNAs, the framework there doesn't support emotional regulation at all. So they're taught about building regulations and the history of disabilities, but they're not actually taught how to emotionally support the children that they're supporting all day long, which is a vital tool to their kit.
And it is something that's hugely important with well, anybody that knows, understands the sensory system and how it works, understands that it's our senses that regulates our emotions, and we need to give it the right kind of sensory diet in order for our emotions to remain regulated.
Yeah,
It's a huge area with very little
it's
knowledge.
massive. Yeah, and children don't move enough in school.
Oh,
They just
no,
don't move enough.
they don't move enough, not at
No,
all.
they
This
don't.
is, and for adults, we have much more tools and things available to us as adults. Like, I mean, my chair swivels, my desk
Yeah.
is a sit-stand desk. We have things that we can do that helps feed into our senses, and the kids have to remain seated for all that time. It's a
Yeah,
tough job.
it is tough. Yeah, but there's loads of tools out there that they could be using, and they're not expensive either. And then we have the freedom of walking outside every little while just to get some sensory input into us.
Yeah, and we know that what helps um, kids with sensory issues literally helps everybody. So if we have somebody who's neurodivergent at all,
Mm-hmm.
neurodivergent people have sensory issues. There's
Yeah.
no if, buts, or maybes.
Nope.
It's part and parcel of it. But what helps a neurodivergent child actually helps everybody. So they could be helping the
Absolutely.
whole
Yeah.
classroom just by
Yes.
catering to these kids.
Yes. Yeah. We'd have a much more balanced classroom.
Yeah, it's actually amazing work that you do, going into the classrooms to help them, and it's vital. It's absolutely vital. Maybe we could start a campaign to get the government on board to get this done
I
as a
tried.
mandated training.
I have
To,
tried.
to so tell me, I asked you to come along and present a workshop at the conference there, which is next Friday. Why did you decide that you were going to take that on, and why did you say yes to that?
Well, firstly, because it's such a fabulous concept, and I'm absolutely delighted to be supporting your event. It's much needed, and it is a place where people can come and be themselves and learn about the children or adults that they are supporting, which is very, very important. And the more we speak about these things and make them normal and part of society, the more children and adults that we can support throughout their lives, which is what I do. And that's what I love doing. So I can't wait to be a part of it.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day, and we know that people who come to the conference have an interest in making the lives of neurodivergent and everybody better,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a huge thing to know, that we're giving so much. We're giving so much to others for them to hopefully go away and be able to give back then to the people that they're caring for.
And even if they go away with one piece of information that changes one child or adult's life, that's all done.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing concept.
Mission completed. Mission completed. One person takes something away would be great. So give the listeners a sneaky idea as to what your workshop will cover. Don't give too much away now. Just give a little idea as to what your workshop will cover.
So we will be looking at how to incorporate easy sensory tools within the classroom, how to use sensory play, when to use it, the materials to use to create calming sensory play for children, and also where you should be sitting your students depending on their needs, because it is vital to their day and it can change their lives once it's understood completely. We'll also be looking at how important it is to keep everything food-based and taste safe for these children to explore, and how to tackle sensory avoidance, because they're not so keen on sensory play, but really they are. They love it, really. So we'll be looking at how to incorporate them into the classroom, and those who will be looking inside lunchboxes just to see how we can get every child gets a chance to get involved.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, we might have other people at the conference, like social care workers and people who are in different sectors besides educators.
Mm-hmm.
Will your workshop be relevant to them as well?
Absolutely, because sensory play applies to every child or adult's life. I work with an awful lot of adults in sensory play, dementia, Alzheimer's, autistic. There's a whole range of adults who benefit from sensory play as well. So it won't just be those inside the classroom, but it will be heavily based on supporting children inside a classroom, because that's where most supports are needed.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it is a very important point that you mentioned, that there's a lot of adults that need that as well.
Yeah,
We all need no, we all need sensory play, but some need it much more than others, I
absolutely.
think.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
So what do you hope that they're going to take away from your workshop?
I hope that they will be able to make a child's daily life in a classroom a little bit easier. And I also hope that they will be able to incorporate the children who don't like sensory play into sensory play, because there are tricks and little bits that you can get them. And they do work. I get messages weekly to say thank you for your training, because the little boy who would never go near sensory play is suddenly enjoying and being able to explore that world, which is amazing. whereas he would have run a mile the week before. So it does work, and if it can incorporate all children into it, it's an amazing tool for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And what makes life easier for the kids makes life easier for the teachers too,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. And we reduce challenging behavior. That's a big goal, is to reduce challenging behavior in the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need all the support that we can get, I think, a lot of the time, because we have teachers, especially, we have that lack of training. And I know from the teaching curriculum, it's essentially classroom management that they learn. So it's shut up, sit down, and do as you're told. It's not, why are you wobbling on your desk? That's okay as long as you're still learning. It's, you need to sit down.
But why are we teaching with shoes and socks on when neurodiverse children find it restrictive? Why are we not teaching or allowing them to take shoes and socks off so that we can actually teach them?
Yeah, absolutely. That wouldn't be for me now. I have to keep my feet nice and warm.
Most people, but we might get lots more out of our children if we did teach them like that, and they were able to run their feet on sensory tiles, or and why teachers are still standing teaching pupils on. I won't ever be able to get my head around that one, I don't think. The children are depleting so much of their cognitive load just trying to look at the teacher by pulling their head back against gravity. So, things like that will be in the workshop so that we can make children's lives a little bit easier.
I think people are gonna take an awful lot away from your workshop. Okay, so people are going to want to ask you questions. They're going to want to know much more information, and of course, the 45 minutes of a workshop isn't going to be enough. So, are you going to be available for the day, and are you willing and happy for people to come and talk to you outside of the workshop?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to meet everybody, and I love answering questions, especially if I know it's going to help somebody, a child or an adult, at home or in a classroom. I think people should ask questions. They need answers. Ask them.
Yeah, absolutely. Ask away.
Ask the question.
And you're going to have a stand as well, isn't that right?
I will. Yes, I will be. I'll have a stand with products and sensory tiles and lots of lovely things to look at and try. And
Great. So people can actually buy things there on the day?
Yes, they can. Yes. And I'll have lots of leaflets with lots of my services and what I do. And
Amazing. That's fantastic. So last question, and then I'll let you deal with the rest of your busy life. How can people get in touch with you if they want to book you for training, or if they want to know more information about your products? How can they get in touch?
So you can go on our website, which is www.littleneaders.com. I'm not a big social media user, but I am on Instagram. Otherwise, on my website is my phone number, where you can send me a WhatsApp or give me a call.
Fantastic. And do you have an email address?
I do. It is hello@littleneaders.com.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I can't wait to see you again in person. It's going to be great.
Be great fun.
We're going to change the world one person at a time.
And you've worked so hard on this, so I really, really, really can't wait to be a part of it. So I'm delighted.
Thanks very much, Amy. We will talk to you soon.
Bye.